Honestly, I feel a little bit lucky knowing that we have somebody and there's a person of interest. Nothing feels worse than having nobody and just nothing but doubt. And 7 weeks of that, or close to 7 weeks of that, was a tremendous amount.
Bryan Kohberger faces 4 counts of first-degree murder.
The investigation against Bryan Kohberger.
Investigators are continuing to collect evidence at the scene. Investigators are working to develop a timeline to relevant events. Autopsies are taking place today on all the victims so we can continue to gather evidence and solve the crime. Investigators are working to follow up on all leads and to identify a person of interest. Based on details at the scene, we believe this was an isolated, targeted attack on our victims. We do not have a suspect at this time, and that individual is still out there. We cannot say that there's no threat to the community, and as we have stated, please stay vigilant, report any suspicious activity, and be aware of your surroundings at all times. What we don't know, the identity and location of the suspect, the location of the knife or any clothing that was worn by the suspect. Currently, we have 25 plus investigators working this case. What we don't know, the identity and location of the suspect. The knife or any clothing. The identity and location of the suspect. The location of the knife or any clothing that was worn by the suspect. Currently,
With what we know now, I believe that Fry slipped and said what we do know subconsciously, because listen to the rest of it. And now remember, 38 interviews between November 13th and 18th. This was the first presser. This was November 16th. And they did know what he was wearing. He was clad in all black with a black face mask. Did they know the location of Bryan Kohberger, and did they know Bryan Kohberger when they did this presser on November 16th? You be the judge. This is my bombshell. I believe that Fry slipped with his tongue, and he was reading to say this is what we do know. Because one of those 3 things I do know that they knew. They knew that he was clad in all black and that he had a black face mask. And whoever comes out and say, we don't know what he was wearing, why would you even need to say that?
what we don't know, the identity and location of the suspect, the location of the knife or any clothing that was worn by the suspect. Currently, we have 25.
Did law enforcement know it was Bryan Kohberger on November 16, 2022 from that slip of the tongue? And based off of the way the investigation went with search warrants, I believe yes, they had that name by November 16th, 2022. And I also believe that out of the 38 interviews that took place between November 13th and 18th, that one of those 38 coughed up Bryan Kohberger's name.